Welcome back to Lesson 2 on freebeginnerpianolessons.com. Today we're going to be learning about the notes C, D, and E. So let's get started. So here's what you're going to need for lesson number 2. You need this worksheet. You can find it right above the video on blog post for piano lesson number 2. You can download it for free and print it. And then you're also going to need a pencil and some crayons or markers or color pencils, whatever you like to draw with. So gather those items and we'll begin the lesson. Okay, we first need to talk about the music alphabet. We have a reading alphabet and it has 26 letters from A to Z. We use those letters to make words, and then those words to make articles and to write books and to write jokes and all sorts of fun things that we can read. Well, music has an alphabet too. The music alphabet has 7 letters, and they're actually the same 7 letters that are at the beginning of our reading alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now let's see how these fit on our keyboard. Here they are. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now what do you think comes after that G? There's a lot more notes after there, right? We don't just have 7 keys on the keyboard. Well, what happens is our music alphabet repeats. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and then we're going to see A, B, C, D, E, F, and G again. So I've got our first group here in a green box. Our second group is in a pink box. Now tell me what comes after that G in the pink box. You're right, we have A again. This keyboard ends on E, so we have A, B, C, D, and E in our blue box here. So the music alphabet is only 7 letters. Our keyboard has a bunch of keys, so this music alphabet just keeps repeating. Depending on the size of your keyboard, you'll see it repeat 5 to 7 times. Now, what do we do with these 2 notes down here? Look at that yellow box. How are we going to figure out those letter names? Well, let's look at one of our other A's. I'm going to look at the A in the pink box here. What comes right before that A? F and G, right? So if we do our alphabet backwards, we're going to see F and G come behind that A there in the green box. All right, now this probably looks kind of complicated right now, but we're going to break it down into steps so that you can learn and memorize all these notes little by little. Let's look at our first group. The first group of letter names that we are going to learn is C, D, and E. In order to do this, we need to take a look at a keyboard. So here's a picture of part of a real piano keyboard. What 2 different colored keys do you see on this piano? Yes, there are black keys and there are white keys. Let's take a closer look at the black keys. The black keys are all organized into groups. Let's work together and find the pattern. So we're going to start all the way on the left side of the keyboard, and I see a group of 1, 2, 3 black keys there, and I've circled them in yellow. So there's a group of 3 black keys. Then we have a little gap. There's 2 white keys here that are right next to each other without a black key in between. Here's our next group of black keys. How many do you see there? I see 2. Yes. So we have a group of 3 black keys. Then we have a gap. Then we have a group of 2 black keys. We have another gap. How many black keys are in this group? Yeah, there's 3. And then we have another gap. And here's another group of 2 black keys. Can you see the pattern? We have a group of 3 black keys, 2 black keys, 3 black keys, 2 black keys, 3, 2, and 3. So there's our pattern. 3, 2, 3, 2. And it just keeps repeating all the way up the keyboard. Now, depending on the size keyboard that you have, you may see the pattern starting with a different number. So the keyboard that I'm going to use in a couple of the other videos later on in this post to teach you Mary Had a Little Lamb and Hot Cross Buns starts with groups of 2 black keys. So the lowest group on that keyboard is 2, and then we have 3, and then 2, and then 3. If you have a full-size acoustic piano or a digital piano, you're going to notice that the lowest black key on that piano is actually 1 all by itself. It's a group of 3, but only one of them is there. And then there's that gap, and then you'll see 2, and a gap, and 3, and so on. So the basic pattern for all the different keyboards is groups of 3 black keys, groups of 2 black keys, just alternating back and forth. Now we're ready to find C, D, and E on the piano. The first thing we need to do is find the groups of 2 black keys and circle them. So I have this group of 2, this group of 2, and this group of 2. I have 3 groups of 2 black keys in this picture. C, D, and E are the 3 notes that are right next to these groups of 2 black keys. So we're going to find that C is to the left. So if we need to find C on the piano, we're going to find the group of 2 black keys, and then the white key right to the left of them is C. I have it here with a blue arrow. Okay, so 2 black keys, and just to the left is C. 2 black keys, and just to the left is C. Okay, D is going to be the one that's in the middle of the 2 black keys. We've got our 2 black keys and D. 2 black keys, and D is in the middle. 2 black keys, and D is in the middle. Okay, our last one is E. E is to the right of the 2 black keys. So we've got our 2 black keys, and just to the right is our E. Just to the right is our E. 2 black keys, and just to the right is our E. Okay, so let's practice this together. I need you to pull out your worksheet, and we're going to get started working on this together. Okay, so this is the worksheet that you need. You're also going to need to pull out your crayons or your pencils or markers, whatever you chose to use. I need you to find a blue crayon, a red crayon, and a yellow crayon. And then you're also going to need just a regular pencil or maybe a black crayon to do some circling. So let's get started on this first keyboard on the top. So on this first keyboard, what I want you to do is take your black crayon or your gray pencil and circle all the groups of 2 black keys. And then come on back and we'll check your answers. So pause the video to give yourself time to circle them, and then press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, let's check your work. Here are the 3 groups of 2 black keys. All right, so we're going to use those 2 black keys now to find C, D, and E. So what I want you to do is take your blue crayon or marker and color all the C's blue. Your red crayon or pencil, and you're going to color all the D's red. And then take your yellow crayon or pencil and color all of the E's yellow. Pause the video, and when you're ready to check your work, press play and we'll check what you've done. Okay, let's see if your keyboard is going to look like mine. So here are the 3 C's. Remember, to find C, we find the 2 black notes, and C is to the left. Here's our D's. D is right in the middle. And last is E. We find the 2 black keys, and E is to the right. All right, let's look at the second keyboard. This time, we're just going to write the letters C, D, and E on the correct keys. So remember to find the 2 black notes and then use them to help you find C, D, and E. Pause the video and come back when you're ready to check your work. Okay, let's see how you did. Here's our C. C is always to the left. Here is D. D is in the middle. And finally, we have E. E is to the right. Good work. I hope that was really easy for you. We're going to talk about practice next. And after we talk about what you're going to practice this week, I want you to go over to your keyboard and see if you can find C, D, and E on your keyboard. All right, let's talk about what you're going to practice this week. Okay, I have a lot of things for you to practice this week. There's a lot of extra videos on this blog post, and I want you to watch them all. So there are 2 songs that we're going to be learning. Mary Had a Little Lamb and Hot Cross Buns. Both of these songs use the notes C, D, and E. So we're going to get you playing those notes on your piano. And then there's several games. There's C, D, and E bingo. If you like that finger number bingo, you'll enjoy this bingo too. And then there's a game where we find C, D, and E as we work our little game pawn through a path. And then I also have a game where you're going to find C, D, and E on your piano keyboard. So take some time this week. Every day, choose 1 or 2 videos and work your way through them so we can really memorize and know these 3 notes, C, D, and E. All right, I'll see you next time.